Hello everyone, Denise here. Today I'm going to show you how to do the stitch worked flat for Paying It Forward Friday for October 2023. We're going to make a cowl. You can make a blanket. You can make anything that you want that is worked flat. And I'm going to use this yarn that I recently picked up at Hobby Lobby. This is Baby Bee Sweet Delight Chunky. And this yarn is new to me. I did a review on this recently. It was short and sweet, and sum it up, I liked it. So this is the color Strawberry Quartz. It has corally colors and green, and then white with dashes of all the colors in there. Very beautiful yarn. And this is 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 109 yards, and 100 meters. It is 80% acrylic. It is 20% polyamide, so it is a bulky weight 5, and it calls for a K-hook or 6.5 mm. If you're knitting, it's a US 10 6 mm. It is really good yarn. It is soft. It does look like it would have a tendency to maybe pill. There is a slight halo on it, so I would suggest possibly hand washing it. If you're gifting it, maybe let them know to treat it nice. Maybe wash it on gentle. It's just my impression I get from it. I have not washed it yet, but if you look at it, you can see there's a little bit of a halo on it. That will rub together and end up being pilly. So just a little bit of a note there. It does have the Okotek standard on it, and that ensures that it is tested for harmful substances. And that makes it a great candidate for baby stuff. I'm going to grab my furls hook. Boom. It's a 6.5 mm. This is their streamline, and it is the lightest color they had when I purchased it. I don't even know what they have now, but I liked the streamlines. I like wooden hooks. So I'm going to pull some of this out, get started on the project. The multiples for the stitch is any you want. So easy. So there will be, this is a slip knot, there will be decorative lines going on it. So if you make your project really wide like this and work up, your decorative lines are going to go back and forth like this. If you're making a scarf like this and it's going to go up like this, as you work your rows, it will be lines like a ladder up. So if you're wearing a scarf, I'll draw you a small picture. So if you make a cowl and you start here, you make a really long rectangle and then you're going to join it, right? Your lines are going to be long like this around your neck, circular. If you make a scarf, you're going to start like this and work up, right? And it's going to go over your shoulders like that. The lines are going to be like this all the way around. Just so you know how the decorative stitch, the way the stitches are worked, the decorative part of it is it will create lines. So you have an idea of what I am going for here. So cowl wise, it would look like you have rings around your neck. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a cowl, except I'm making the cowl a long rectangle, and then I'm going to seam it up. So that is still a project worked flat. So I'm going to chain any multiple you want. I'm going to go pretty long on this, I think. I think I'm going to do one that would hang down a little further on your neck. Be more of a pretty cowl, if you will. It won't be a gaiter style. Maybe lay down on the collarbone a little bit. So I'm just going to keep working my chain. I can let you know what my chain length is when I'm done. So I'll be back to you in a moment. Okay, I have 46 chains here. It roughly is about 22 inches. So I'm going to chain 1, and we're going to put a single crochet in this second chain from the hook. Then we're going to do a single crochet in each stitch all the way across. And that's going to be our row 1. Once you get to the end of your row, we're going to chain 3. We're going to turn our work. We're going to put a double crochet in the next stitch here, and in each stitch all the way across. I'll meet up with you at the end of our row 2 here. Once you get to your last stitch and you're ready to move on to row 3, we're going to chain 2, turn our work. We're going to put a half double crochet in the next stitch here. And then we're going to put a half double crochet in each stitch all the way across. Very easy. I will meet back up with you when I get to the end of my row 3. Once you get to the end of your row 3, we are going to chain 3 here. We're going to turn our work. We're going to do something a little different. If you don't want to do something a little different, put a double crochet in your next stitch and all the way across. If you want to do something a little different, this is where we're going to do it. So we are going to do double crochets this row, but we're going to put them in the back loop only. So this is our first stitch, and we're not working in that one. This is our second stitch here, and usually we would go here. But as we look at our stitch, this is the front loop and this is the back loop. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to go in that back loop there. And yarn over and pull up, yarn over, go through 2, just like a normal double crochet. We're going to do that all the way across. Front loop, back loop, go in that back one. In every stitch all the way to the end of the row. At the end of the row, I'll show you what we need to do for the next row, but this is our row 4 in the back loop double crochets. And I'll meet up with you in just a moment. Once you get to the end of your row 4, make sure that you put a double crochet in your chain 3. There's not a back loop to that, so we're just going to go into it. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2 and we're going to work on row 5. Row 5 is our last row I'm going to show you, at least in the stitch pattern here, because it's a repeat pattern now of row 4 and row 5. So row 5, we're going to chain 1, put a half double in that next stitch, just like normal, and then we're going to do a half double crochet in each stitch all the way down. Just normal. And then when you're done with this row, you'll go back to your double crochets in the back loop only. That's your row 4. And your row 5 is half double crochets as normal. So I will meet back up with you when I get to the height of the cowl that I want. You work on your blanket, scarf, whatever you're working on, dishcloth, and I'll meet back up with you and show you how to do the edging to this. Very simple, very easy. So I'll see you in a minute. Remember your row 4. When you get to the end of your row 5, you're repeating row 4, chain 3, turn your work, And remember, this row we put the double crochet in the back loop only. So yarn over, next stitch, back loop only. All the way down the row. Next row is a repeat of row 5, and that is all half double crochets. So I'll see you in a moment. All right, so I have about 8 inches on the height of my cowl. I am going to finish off on my last row here. I'm going to do a single crochet row. I need to put a half double in my last stitch, and then chain 1 and turn your work. It doesn't matter if you left off with a half double row or a double crochet row, it doesn't matter. Just finish off. If you're running out of yarn, if you want to make it exactly match, go ahead. My end over here where I started was single crochet, double crochet, half. I am finishing my last 3 double, half, and single. So chain 1, turn our work, single crochet in the same stitch, and then single crochet in every stitch all the way down. I will meet back up with you in just a moment to seam up our cowl. Okay, so I'm down to the last stitch here. We need to put our right sides together. And then you need to decide how you want to sew yours up. You can slip stitch it, you can single crochet it. If there's any other method that you want to use, go ahead and use that. I think I'm just going to weave back and forth and seam up the edge without my crochet hook. So I'm cutting a big length here, probably about 2 foot of yarn. This is what I have left of the ball. It's not a lot, but it's a little. I'm going to pull the yarn through, and I'm going to seam it up with a needle. You can do it wrong side to wrong side like this, if that makes you feel more comfortable and maybe not seeing the stitches being put in. It's up to you. It does not matter. Either way, you're going to have somewhat of a visible seam. I just always put that part of the cowl in the back. I have longer hair, so it is not seen. I go into the opposite corner of the one that I am currently from. And then you can go shoelace style, or you can just whip stitch. It's up to you. It's your cowl. You can do whatever you want. I just like to make sure I don't have a lot of gaps here and there. So I will pull from the side and parts of the cowl that will make it less gappy or holy, however you want to put it. I usually don't do 2 legs of a stitch. If there are 2 legs, I usually pull from spaces that will make it less visible as a seam. Very simple, very not exact in any manner whatsoever. And like I said, if you have a favorite method, go ahead and use whatever method that you like. Always do what makes you feel most comfortable in your project. If someone is giving you instructions, even if it's me, and you don't like them, just do something else. There's always a different way to do things. Once I get down to the end here, I start holding the ends so that I know they're going to match up corner to corner, and then keep seaming. weave that end in because I did not do that. Sometimes when you split your yarn, it helps your ends from coming out. And also, if you have not watched my video on felting your ends, I'll give you a quick little rundown of how that is done. So when I do that, I like to leave the end on there as to keep track of where my end is and where I need to felt. I'm going to weave this one in really quick because project is not done in my eyes unless my ends are woven in, so no pressure ever on me by myself. One more time back this way. Okay, this is just a short how-to on the needle felting. Let me grab it. Okay, so in that video, I show you this, and you can pick this up at Hobby Lobby still. It's cheaper than that. And it comes with a felting needle, 2 felting needles, and a square. It works fine. No big deal. But when I purchased from Temu, they had this huge pad here and a 3-prong needle. So I use that now because why not, right? So I like to come in from the right side to the wrong side because that way if it felts a bit, it's on the inside of the project. So right here is where I want to puncture with my needle. So don't get your fingers. But essentially this is what you do, and it will felt to get together the fibers, and your ends will come out less often because of that felting. See, it gets fuzzy, and then I cut off my end. Some yarns get fuzzier than others. Some don't get fuzzy at all, but this one really gets fuzzy. And then this side right here, so right where my finger is, I want to poke that. Essentially, you're just stabbing it, and that motion is taking the needle down through the fibers, and it is felting it. So your ends don't come out. And that is it. That's the seam. So it's not so unsightly. And then this is the front. And I will have to share on the community page when I get the hat done that matches, but that tutorial will be next Friday for the stitch in the round. So if you made a blanket like this, essentially, your blanket's going to look just like that, zoomed in with this yarn. And then if you use a solid color yarn, it is more prominent. Your V's are more prominent and show to you more. I'll grab my hat so that you can take a look at it. This is the hat, and you can tell that those lines are way more prominent. That is why I wanted to do the cowl this way, so that the hat and the cowl matched in their design. I just need to make a hat now out of that yarn. This one is a Hobby Lobby yarn. It's coming up soon, next Friday. So I will share this hat that matches the cowl on the community page. You can use the stitch for whatever project flat that you desire. A scarf would be beautiful. A washcloth would be beautiful. Anything that you make flat would be beautiful. If you wanted to do fingerless gloves in this, you have the patterning now, so you just would work up just like we did the cowl, and then when you seam it up, where we seamed up, you would leave a thumb hole. Let's pretend we left this as our thumb hole, and then your fingerless glove would look just like that. That's pretty close. Your fingerless glove would look something like that, and it depends on what yarn you use of how it would look. I might make some of them up as well. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the Ought to Be Autumn Cowl tutorial, and share your makes with me. I'm on Instagram. You can always email me at spiffyhandmade@gmail.com. Take care. Until next time, guys.